My video begins in my hotel room in Honolulu, Hawaii. The sun is rising, and check out the colors in the clouds, those red and purple colors. There's the downtown Honolulu and Waikiki skyline. Very expensive to stay there. The hotel I'm in is half the price, and they serve a free breakfast. Although we did use some points to knock down the price and get half off parking. And here's that free breakfast. I had some vegetarian fried rice. I really like this. It's just past 7 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time. No daylight saving time here. Hey guys, it's Emily. Welcome everyone! This is my first full day in the state of Hawaii, so let's see a map to see where I'm going. Here's a map of the southern half of the island of Oahu. I'm going to overlay the multiple colored routes that I traveled on this day. As you can see, I'm covering a lot of ground. I'll start with the red route, which will take me to the Punchbowl Scenic Overlook and the Tantalus Overlook. Then I'll be taking the purple route to see some roadside attractions, and then some beautiful overlooks along the eastern shore. Then the orange route will be the entire length of Interstate H3, which is supposed to be the most beautiful interstate to drive in the entire country. Then finally, the bluish route takes me to the western shore. I'll briefly show you where Lani is, which is part of the resort bubble over there, and you'll see why I call that area a bubble, since it's not the reality of West Oahu. And now I'll overlay the gray routes, which are the remaining interstate highways that I'll drive very late in the evening and in the rain. I'm going to travel every mile of interstate over the next couple of days. Now driving underneath Interstate H1, Hawaii has 4 interstate highways, all on the island of Oahu. It seems strange Hawaii has any interstate highways at all. But here's a fun fact. There are also 4 interstate highways in Alaska. They're not labeled as interstates though. Absolutely true, not making that up. It's taking me forever to get on H1. I'm heading for a couple of overlooks on my way to the east shore. And it looks like I may have some good luck here. Some clearing in the clouds. The forecast was for a significant chance of rain this morning, but I may get lucky and head to the overlooks without getting wet. The traffic is not too bad this morning, but then again it is Sunday. My first stop is the National Memorial Cemetery of the Pacific. The security guard just opened the gate. It's right at 8 a.m. Inside the cemetery is the Punchbowl Scenic Lookout, which should have a fantastic view of Honolulu. It's going to be a fantastic tropical day. Let's go! Now taking the short walkway uphill towards the overlook, but keeping in mind this is a cemetery. The cemetery opened in 1949, and it took about 50 years since the initial studies were completed to construct a cemetery at this location. After World War II, appropriate funding was provided by the U.S. government to build the cemetery. Tens of thousands of people that were killed in World War II are laid to rest here, most notably those that lost their lives nearby Pearl Harbor. You can see numerous plaques along this walkway. There are over 60 of these memorial markers to honor those that lost their lives not only in World War II, but the Korean and Vietnam Wars as well. There are additional dedication plaques throughout the cemetery. I've now reached the overlook at the top of the hill, so I'm going to give you the grand reveal. Look how amazing this view is. Diamond Head Crater is in the distance, and this is an amazing overlook of the city of Honolulu. Amazing view, also a lot of road noise. I guess from the H1 directly below. I'm in front of the Capitol building, and the port with the cruise ship is behind that. Sending some pics to my friends back home. Getting a close-up of Diamond Head in the distance, I hear the top of that mountain has great views of the city as well.
There's a smiley face over there. Come here, Mama. There's a smiley face. This view is incredible. Definitely better than the one we have from our hotel room. And I love the smiley face. I just noticed the smiley face and it's my favorite bit. Little smiley face. Now there's another mural thing. I almost got hit by a bird. There's another mural over there. Like you can see that blue thing where it looks like there's a person on it.
The airport is not too far away, and the flight path takes the planes along the skyline. Getting a closer look at the cruise ship at the port. Also, the bottom right of the screen is the Capitol building. Hoping the rain holds off as I got a list of things to see today. Looking at Diamond Head once again, and then zooming back out to see the eastern side of Honolulu. I'll be heading to the Diamond Head area later this morning. This marker states, on this Puawena, or Hill of Sacrifice, lay those who made the ultimate sacrifice for freedom. And there's the hill over there. All those interred there have received the Congressional Medal of Honor. There are many different types of trees at this cemetery. I'm not sure what kind of tree this is, but it has a bunch of those puffy red flowers. It's a very beautiful tree. If anyone knows what kind of tree this is, please leave me a comment. Looking at the city from another vantage point, you can see the houses going up the hill. I'm thinking you need a lot of money to buy a house in this area. Everything in Hawaii is pretty expensive. It's a little too cloudy to see the eastern shore from here. The domed building is the arena, located on the campus of the University of Hawaii.
And I was like, plane!
Now back on the main viewing area, I wanted to get just a few more photos. The view is so amazing and it could be a long time before I return to Hawaii. So I wanted to soak it all in. Now I'm making my way down the Punchbowl Crater, but ultimately I'll be heading much higher in elevation to see Honolulu and the surrounding area from a different vantage point. I'm still a little concerned about the weather. The weather people said rain is a sure thing today. Heading uphill on Tantalus Road, you can see the houses are all pretty packed at the lower elevations close to the city, but the further up I go, the more forested everything will be. There are a couple of good hiking trails off this road if you're interested in that. Also, the higher in elevation I go, the more windy this road is, and there have been a few people crossing into my lane when navigating these curves. There's a parking area that we saw that had a more distant view of the city, so we decided to stop for a minute to check it out. Gonna zoom in a little bit. Definitely a more wide view of the Honolulu skyline. But look at Diamond Head. It looks much more prominent compared to the skyline. Also, I'm noticing I don't hear nearly as much traffic noise up here. I just hear a few birds and that's it. Well, now that I'm here, I might as well create an Instagram reel or a YouTube short and record for posterity that I've finally reached all 50 states in the United States.
We did it, guys! We're finally all 50 states! Woo!
Then not long after, I'm at another overlook and check out the view here. Quite a bit better. I can see much more of the city from here. All the Diamond Head crater is in view here. And much more of the Honolulu skyline can be seen. I bet on a clear day I'd be able to see the ocean as well. This view is so gorgeous. So now I'm retaking some video that I shot at the lower overlook and taking a few photos featuring this overlook since it's much better than the first overlook. One more look and then I'll head a little further up the road. Hopefully when I return, the weather will be sunny and I can get some great clear day pictures and videos. Found some parking down here, but there's some views just of the hill, but there's no parking up there. I'll need to walk up this hill to get the view images that I want. Also, this road is just wide enough for one lane, so I'm hoping cars will be careful and not run me over.
We're almost at the top.
This is the first view of the western side of Honolulu that I'm able to see. It's much more suburban though. Just a few high-rises here and there as I zoom in to get a better look. Unfortunately, from here the eastern side of the island is obscured by another hill. There is a trail that'll lead you to a better view of Waikiki, but with the chance of rain, I'm not going to go hiking. From here I can still see Diamond Head, but without most of the buildings, well, just the tops of some of the buildings. So a little different view of the crater from here. It's also a little bit cooler up here. Still incredibly humid, but the temperature is a few degrees cooler. I've just noticed in Hawaii that there are a lot of stray cats all over the place. Here's one of them. I don't think the cat belongs to anybody. Also, I'm not sure what the cat is looking at. If I go farther uphill, that'll lead to a 1-mile trail that goes to Tantalus Summit, which has amazing views of the south half of Oahu. However, with the weather coming in and the clouds hanging off the mountaintops, I don't think the views will be all that great from here. So I'm gonna head back down and see a couple of roadside attractions and then explore the eastern shore of Oahu. There are a couple of shopping malls in Honolulu, one at each end of Interstate H1. I'm at the eastern end of H1 at the Kahala Mall, more specifically at Macy's. In front of the Macy's is this bust of Jack Lord, who played Detective Steve McGarrett on the original Hawaii Five-O TV series, the one that ran from 1968 to 1980. There's a small marker below the bust. Jack Lord, born in 1920 and died in 1988. He was an artist, actor, and philanthropist, and the star of Hawaii Five-O. He loved the sea, these islands, and their people. He will always be remembered. But here's why this bus is at this mall. Jack Lord was a frequent shopper at this mall, and he lived in a condo nearby. This bus was placed here in 2004 as a way to thank Jack Lord for everything he had done for Hawaii. Now heading to some of the viewing areas along the eastern shore. But first, look at Diamond Head in front of me. My first view of the Pacific Ocean while standing in the state of Hawaii. This is so amazing. I've tried to visit the state since 2018 and I'm glad I'm finally here. Lots of people in the ocean on kayaks. Some of those people are way out in the ocean, but I think the water is fairly shallow out there. But up here, there's a marker I want to show you. This marker and this overlook are both dedications to Amelia Earhart, the first person to fly solo from Hawaii all the way to Oakland, California in January 1935. The flight took over 18 hours. This is an impressive marker for an impressive aviator, with the ocean waves below and Amelia Earhart's plane flying above those waves. Now let's go around the eastern shore of Oahu. The shoreline is fantastic just looking at it from the car. What a great day so far, and no rain yet. The next lookout is the Lanai lookout. I'm just gonna let the camera roll for a bit. I believe that's Coco Crater. Lots of good hiking around that crater. I've never seen anything like this. The dark lava rock forming this amazing shoreline. These birds are so savage, all of them fighting over a tiny piece of food. I'll just wait until they're done as I need to pass them to get back to my car. Just a little ways up the road is the Halona Blowhole Overlooks. Before we see the blowhole, let's check out this beautiful shoreline. The trade winds are coming up a little strong, so that should pick up the waves, so you see a lot of activity from the blowhole.
Alright, you guys ready?
I see it, yeah!
The guy is pretty close. He might get sprayed. Lots of people on buses coming to see the blowhole. It's very busy here, so it's time for us to move on. Take a look at this. I didn't expect to see a whole lot of blue sky today, but here it is. This is so beautiful on a clear day. I can't wait to see the next overlook off this road. It took about 3 tries to find a parking space at my next destination. But here I am at Makapu'u Lookout. I'm gonna check out this nice lookout now that the sun has come out, and apparently a lot of people have the same idea. I think this is a good location for watching humpback whales. According to this marker, humpback whales are called Kahala. The species almost went extinct, but here the whales have international protection, and today there are about 10,000 whales. Look how beautiful this is. The water is so beautiful. The shallow end has this turquoise color, and the deep end is a beautiful shade of dark blue. Some rain just off the eastern shore. But where I'm standing at this overlook, the sun is out, and the water and the mountains are so beautiful. There are 2 islands here. The small one closer to me is Kahipaipa Island. The larger one behind it is Manana Island. Both of them designated as protected seabird sanctuaries. Look at those amazing hills in the distance, and those black sandy beaches in the foreground. Panning out and the public beach with the brown sand is on your left. I love the mountains all around the beach, and those 2 islands are awesome. The water is so clear and not a lot of waves close to the shoreline.
I'm pointing at where the water coming.
Someone nearby was saying the whales are swimming in this general area. There's a small area in the water at the top right where a whale may have come up to the surface. I can't really tell. But it sure is beautiful here, and I'm glad the sun came out for a little bit.
For the water to spray out.
Beautiful. The blowhole I saw earlier was pretty cool. But this is a different kind of scenery here, and it's just a few miles from that blowhole. Now heading out, I'm taking one more look at these mountains before I leave for the next overlook. It's going to be hard to leave Hawaii in a few days. About half an hour away is Lanikai Beach, where they have this monument along the road that goes along the shoreline. This marker is 25 feet high and made of concrete. It was constructed in 1924 and was originally meant to be an entryway to a very high-end residential area. It also marks another incredibly beautiful beach on the eastern shore. This is Lakanai Beach. Notice the black rocky shoreline close to me, and in the distance are very light sandy beaches. The ocean also has that beautiful turquoise color I saw at the last Overlook. But as you can see, the clouds are rolling in, and it definitely looks like we'll get some rain real soon. That's not stopping people from enjoying the ocean. It's still warm out, about 80 degrees. Looking at those hills in the distance, that area isn't open to the public. That's actually a Marine Corps air station. It opened in 1939 as a Navy base and was attacked 9 minutes before an attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941. That rain is definitely coming in from the mountains. We need to get going. We'll probably head back to the hotel for a little bit and wait out the storm. There's rain coming in from the ocean too. There's a quick way to get back to our hotel, and that's Interstate H3. It's the newest interstate in Hawaii. If you're getting some Jurassic Park vibes looking at the scenery, you probably should, since some of the filming took place in nearby Kualoa Ranch. This road was planned back in 1960 to link the Marine base we just saw with Pearl Harbor about 15 miles away. However, the road wasn't constructed until much later. These short tunnels we will cross through are the Hospital Rock Tunnels. This road is a little over 15 miles long and cost $1.3 billion to build. At the time, one of the most expensive highways ever built. Much of the highway is built on bridges to reduce as much as possible the environmental impacts caused by building a major thoroughfare, especially through the area of difficult terrain and some say cultural significance. In fact, many say the highway is cursed because it disturbed ancient religious locations. Also, others believe since this highway makes a much easier commute from Honolulu, it has contributed to the urbanization of the eastern shore. I mentioned this road was planned in 1960, but because of the environmental and cultural concerns, plus the need to relocate the route from its original proposed location much closer to the southern coast, construction didn't start until the late 1980s, and was finally completed December in 1997. The tunnels we are about to go through are the Tetsuo Harano tunnels, which are nearly a mile long. Harano was a state highway administrator who worked for the state of Hawaii for over 50 years, including during the construction of the H3. The tunnels were actually twice named for Harano. These tunnels bore his name when the H3 opened, but were renamed for a former governor in 2001. However, friends and family of Harano got the tunnel renamed again after him in early 2003. People drive pretty quickly inside the tunnel, which has a speed limit of just 45 miles per hour. However, there are known speed traps on both ends of the tunnel, so these people might be out a couple $100 real soon. The overhead signs say water on roadway on the other side, so it must be raining. And we're on the other side, and it's raining. On this side of the road has a speed limit of 60 miles an hour, the highest speed limit in all of Hawaii. The road ends at a large interchange with the H1 and H201 interstate highways. I'm gonna head east toward my hotel.
2 hours later.
Okay, the rain isn't letting up a whole lot near the airport in Waikiki, but I think it's better on the western shore. Generally, all the Hawaiian Islands are drier on the western side. Although it sure doesn't look like it right now, but I did want to see the western shore today, since I won't have time tomorrow. So I'm at the western shore and getting off of this interchange, and it's very beautiful here. This, I believe, is the main resort area. On the left side of your screen is Disney's Aulani Resort. Very pricey, nearly $1,000 a night for anything that's in this resort bubble.
There are other resorts here besides Aulani, and there's a shopping and restaurant area across the street. Most of the shops and restaurants closed at 5. It seems like a lot of places close early on Sundays in Oahu. So why do I call this area a bubble? The reality of West Oahu is quite different from those fancy resorts.
We drove up to Waianae, and we saw firsthand a complex issue facing Hawaii, especially along this western shore of Oahu. I'm not sure how to solve this. Aulani and the other resorts are way in the distance on the right, but take notice of all the tents along the shore here. Hundreds of people live along the western shore. Many were relocated from tourist areas like Waikiki. The boat harbor in Waianae alone has 250 people living there. According to homelesshawaii.org, Hawaii has one of the worst homeless epidemics in the country, made worse by the pandemic, but especially since Hawaii is very expensive and its isolation from the mainland. The local media has recently reported some programs are being ramped up to help the homeless in this area, but they can only assist about 50 people at a time. I mentioned that most restaurants close very early on Sundays, but I did find a place in the city of Kapolei. It's at the other mall in Oahu. Yes, I found the famous Hawaiian restaurant called Olive Garden. So we're enjoying these famous Hawaiian breadsticks, as well as this famous Hawaiian salad and some famous Hawaiian minestrone soup. And I can't forget the famous Hawaiian peach bellini tea. This place is very busy, probably because nothing else is open. Everything tasted kind of bland, no garlic flavor, and the breadsticks were very buttery. Very different Olive Garden for sure. I think the chain restaurants in some places in Waikiki are the only eateries open late in Oahu, and even those will close around 8 or 9 p.m. And that's it for a very busy day in Oahu. But before I return to my hotel, I'm going to drive all of H1 and H201 tonight, knock out those interstates, then drive all of Interstate H2 when I head north tomorrow. When we drove through Waikiki on the H1, it was pouring down rain. 2 hours after we drove through, H1 was completely flooded over, so we got really lucky. My next video will focus on the northern shore, so you see that next time. Thanks for watching, bye!